celestial skies. Two spirit souls with dreams in their eyes, whispering tales under the moon's soft glow. It's time to let our ancient magic flow. We'll create a spark, a life anew, for Laylam Layla, just me and you. A bond so deep, it's ever true. With every breath our love will grow. Hand in hand we tread this path so bright, through the twilight into the night, crafting wonders with hearts as our tools, in a world where love ensures no rules. Oh, the stars above, they wink at night, approving the future. Our love will prod with every beat and every soul's embrace. A legacy of love we're set to chase. Through giggles and sighs, through joy, through tears, we'll build our haven beyond our fears. Layla and Layla, our cherished abode, where dreams and hopes shall never corrode. We'll create a spark, a life anew, for Layla and Layla, just me and you. A bond so deep, it's ever true. With every breath our love will grow.
100% real life.
On being Layla, but we'll create a spark, a life anew, for Layla, Layla, just me and you. A bond so deep, it's ever true. With every breath our love will grow.
So we gonna do.
I come in so sick of someone's of you. She's the craze of the day. I thought the thinness of you. Ooh, I should have seen.
So I want to give a special shout out to Kevin Wendell, whose music that is, for just always like making music that is definitely thoughtful to the collective of Layla Layla. I was not going to go live today, but unfortunately Okay, I'm back. So I wasn't gonna. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me in the chat? Can everybody hear me? We have some things we have to discuss today as a collective. I'm gonna share a story. I'm gonna share some things with y'all. And as you know, I do not like to make decisions on my own about the collective. About the collective that we are building over here at the Nation. You know, I have gotten flack for how the moderators give. You know, Alpha reached out to me again yesterday after the live was over with screenshots. And Alpha felt like Alpha was being bullied by the moderators in the chat. And again, I did I defended the moderators just like I defended y'all on the live. And you know, I told her that this was actually my first time ever, like yesterday was my first time ever threatening to end the live. Like that is not what typically happens. It doesn't go that far. Typically, like I was explaining to her, I said that I was letting them know that you were coming back into the group. I was letting them know that you were gonna come back. And typically, once you offend the first time, you're exiled. But because she reached out to me via Instagram and we shared an exchange via Instagram, then I, you know, came back to y'all and I let y'all know that she would be coming back into the space and to have some grace for her. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely what had happened. But typically, once you offend, you are gone for a while. Like that's typically how it goes. Once you say some slick shit and it's your first time in the chat, then you're exiled for a while until you get a new account and you come back, you know, as a different person. I don't want us to it is my prayer, it is not my demand. It is my prayer that we can exercise more grace. But if collectively, as child, 100% pure love, Anandia, Fatima, if the moderators are all getting the same vibes, then I'm not gonna sit up here and argue with all of my moderators. So, and that's gonna bring us to another point of what this video is about. But understand that I am the foundation for this conversation because it's happening on my platform. But this is collective consciousness. My lives would not last as long as they last if it were not for the collective having a conversation. My moderators help to carry this conversation. And so I'm not going to censor them and tell them, oh, don't say that if you feel uncomfortable. Like you're coming into this and you have to understand for people who are watching and people who haven't been bold enough to make a comment because maybe you don't know how to make a comment. Maybe you don't know if you can make a comment. But let's be clear. When you're coming in, observe. See what's going because I read all of the comments. So y'all can't say y'all don't know how it's being given up in the comment section. You can't whine and say, "Oh, they're being disrespectful," or they're not being thoughtful, or they're like you. I read the comments. I read the comments in the videos, so you know how they're giving it up in the chat. Even if you can't see it after the video is done, you know how they're giving it up in the chat. So please don't act like a victim when you come in the chat and you don't get the welcome that you want when you already know how it's being given up. So that's all I want to say. Like don't yeah, don't do that. So, Alpha felt the way, and while I do feel like there was a little antagonizing of Alpha yesterday. Like I am gonna say, like she was trying to keep it cute, but I already know that 100% pure love is gonna let it be said. Okay, girl, not today. Don't try it today. And I just feel like it's two strong personalities, and I feel like there was a bumping of heads, and we are a clique. We are a collective. Like we are a collective, but I feel like we are a collective that actually challenges each other, and it's not everybody in the group just like, oh, I agree. Because I've said things about lace fronts and wigs, and 100% pure love didn't agree with my thought process on wigs. Like we say things in the chat. I've said things about weights, and people have had different moderators have had different opinions about gaining weight. Like, and that's caused me to be more thoughtful at how I talk about certain things. And so let's not make this a space where you feel like you're not being heard simply because you want to come through the door kick in and you just want to come through the door and you want your voice to be at the top of the food chain as soon as you come through the door. That's not how this works. And so we need to have a conversation about loyalty. We need to have a conversation about respect, and we need to have a conversation about loyalty. And I feel like this is a good time to have that conversation because I just had a really, really tough conversation with my biological mother before this live started. So I called my mama, and I didn't say Happy Mother's Day. I said Happy Day. I said enjoy your special day. And my mama responded, and she was like, um, and this is in no way to villainize my mother. I will not tolerate any villainization of my mother. Bitch, I could talk about my mama, but you can't. Bitch, no. So I'm being transparent, but I'm just letting you know that's still my mama. So so I called my mama and I told her, I said happy I said happy. I said happy special day, and my mama was like, "This to let y'all know that when I say shit on live, I'm not flip flop. I don't wish wash. Whatever I say, I stand on business. The same person that I am in front of this camera is the same person that I am off the camera. Okay, the same person that's sitting in front of this camera is the same person that I am behind the camera." So my mom was like, "Well, I thought you didn't, I thought you didn't believe in Mother's Day. I thought you didn't celebrate Mother's Day." I said, "Well, you are my mom. I did come here through you, and I want to honor you and I want to respect you because you're my mom." But I also let my mom know that she hurt me when she told me that she didn't honor my motherhood. Now, mind you, my mama didn't say this last year. She didn't say this the year before last. She said it a few years back. And she didn't remember saying it, but I remember saying it. I remember when I told her, "Well, my mama too, why you don't honor my Mother's Day? Like honor me on Mother's Day." And she was like, "Well, that yours ain't real. Mine's real." And she said she don't remember saying that. And so basically her saying she don't remember saying that means that she didn't mean to say it. So basically, as we went on in the conversation, she went into saying that sometimes she say things and it comes out while she's mad and it comes out the wrong way. So we had a beautiful conversation. Like, we was on the phone for like a whole hour. And the bottom line was, it was a beautiful conversation and it was a healing conversation. And I was letting her know, like, "Mama, I don't think that I'm a biological, even though my mama refers to me with she pronouns, my mama talks to me as if I was her daughter. She used female pronouns to describe me." But my mom was like, I was telling my mom, I said, "I don't think that I'm a biological female. I know that I'm not a biological female, but I'm not a man. I'm not one of them. I don't move like them. I don't benefit from their privilege. Oh, we are whole. We are mother, father, dark, light, chaos, and order, everything and nothing." And so that's part of the reason why, like, I don't support a lot of holidays, and she be wanting me to honor it because it's the family basically spending time together. But I tell my mama, "I honor you every day. I celebrate you every day. I love you every day. It doesn't have to be a specific or a particular day for me to honor you. I don't have to wait until the colonizer give me permission to tell you how much I think of you or how much I love you. And when I tell you I love you, it's not always gonna be a material gift. Sometimes it's gonna be an act. It's gonna be a deed, because I don't value the same things that other people value. I value my art. I value stories. I value people. I value loyalty. I value relationships. And I think that is what's wrong with deeply melanated people. And since deeply melanated people are the core and the root and the source of a lot of things happening in this matrix, unfortunately, until we repair the roots, we're going to have a problem with everything that's growing from that. So a lot of times the reason why I center black people is not because I'm anti-Caucasian. It's not because I'm against non-black people. It's because I see black people as the roots. And we have to repair the roots. We have to fix the core of the problem. And until we heal, everything else as a byproduct, as proximity, is going to suffer. We have to heal. And a lot of us, we create these narratives of making people feel like they're disloyal and like they're the problem and like it's something wrong with them. But really, girl, you just trying to hustle. You just trying to work. You just trying to come up. You just trying to work. You just trying to come up. You just trying to eat. And you using propaganda. You using racism. You using all of these narratives as a means to try to eat. I've been trying to reach across the aisles to Caucasian people. I've been trying to reach across the aisles to Caucasian people in a way that feels authentic. I've been trying to reach across the aisle in a way that feels real, like in a way that doesn't feel like I have to shrink. In a way that feels like I don't have to diminish my light. Because I want to see Caucasian people become more whole, tap into their soul, tap into their ancestors, which is our ancestors, and become more self-realized. But the problem is we are so traumatized by the stories that we've heard and the stories we've been told about Caucasian people that we collectively dump them all into this same basket. And we treat all Caucasian people the same way. And I know this is something that I used to be guilty of. I used to always see Caucasian people as a resource. I never saw them for anything more than a resource. I didn't fuck with them unless they could do something for me financially because I didn't trust them. Beyond that. And if we gonna keep it real, that has to change because we give black people passes and we give black people grace, and a lot of times they use them passes and that grace to sabotage our growth and our elevation and our expansion. That's why it's important for us to have discernment in the times that are coming, and we need to be able to discern what a person is up to, what their intentions is, because education will only take you so far. People are always talking about education, education, education. Some of the most educated people go to institutions and learn that information, and then they come back and they tell you a half truth so they can manipulate you and keep you at sheep status. So they could keep herding you right into lack, right into limitation, right into less, right into not having. Keep hurting you right into that box. And I am disgusted by it and I'm sick of it. So if we could get some authentic Caucasian people, some authentic Hispanic people, some authentic Asian people, some authentic Dominican, Hebrew, ninjutsu, whatever. I just need you to keep it a buck. We're trying to build a collective. We're trying to grow. We're trying to expand. We're trying to evolve. But a lot of times people who are non-melanated are living in this fictitious reality where they think that their privilege and the way that other black people who are code switching, who are playing the game, they don't know how to have relationships with authentic black people because they're so used to being surrounded by pygmies. They don't know how to engage with genuine and authentic black people because, and this is the crazy part, the ones that are supposed to be genuine and authentic, a lot of times they're holding on to bitterness and they don't want to see Caucasian people tap into that ancestor where that allows them the ability to be able to sing with soul, to be able to dance and have rhythm, to be able to cook food that have seasoning in it, to be able to speak from a profound and empathetic and compassionate space and to back that up with actions and deeds, to be willing to sacrifice for what they believe in. We don't get to see them kind of white people. We don't get to see them kind of Caucasian people because the gatekeepers push them back and focus on the ones that are really out here being inauthentic. The ones that's really out here playing in our face. And they paint that image of all Caucasian and non-black people to us, and it keeps us from building relationships with the ones who are authentic. And so we're doing something different here in this collective. This will always be a space that centers deeply melanated people because melanation is the core. It is the root. You gotta start from there. You can't start with diluted. You can't start with that. It's always going to center transness, queerness. But we are evolving and expanding. With that being said, I gotta get to the crux of why I went live. And the prodigy I already know, because I've already discussed it with her. I want to say this as thoughtfully as I possibly can. And the reason why I'm going live to have this conversation is because Leah never inboxes me to ask me things. Every time Leah has a critique or a different opinion or a different idea, and I'm talking about Leah Betty, every time she has a critique or opinion or a different idea that, challenges the platform, which is totally fine, she always makes it public. She always comes and says it publicly. I need you to come forth. So she made a comment up under my video about old school LGBT people and went into detail, no shade, talking about how when I said I would work with T.S. Madison for 50K. She went into great detail, and she didn't jump into I didn't even know anything was going on with her. Like, I didn't even know that she was going through something where they had turned on her, and her tribe had turned on her, or her followers was turning on her. I didn't even know all of that was going on, because as y'all know, for a couple of days I was fasting. I wasn't even on the internet. So I wake up today to check my messages, and in the comment section she done wrote this long comment talking about how I need to come to her defense. I need to come out and say something. And where I find this problematic, and where I find a problem with this, and where I take issue with this, is because in today's society it's kind of hard to find who's loyal to you just for the internet and who's loyal to you in real life. Like, who will support you in these streets. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I trust people. But girl, I've lived in Atlanta on and off for 2 years. You reached out to me in a video when you was coming on my live, and you said when you in town we gonna have to go out to eat or something. Girl, when I got back in Atlanta after you said that, because I believed it was authentic, I waited until I had some money, and I would have naturally been able to pay for my own food and probably pay for yours. I reached out to you and to see if you wanted to hang out, and girl, it never happened. I inboxed you on Instagram and started to consistently message you on Instagram after the first fallout happened with you and T.S. Madison, and you did come to my defense when T.S. Madison talked about me the first time. But when you came to my defense, I felt like it was beneficial to you because that was a big old thing. And we not finna act like you not promoting your music. We not finna act like you not out here in the streets trying to promote your music. So I felt like you were already beefing with T.S. Madison, and so it brought more attention to your platform. You already have a strong platform and a strong following. You have a nice following. Like, your videos get views. I know you gotta be monetized, because you got way more followers and you get way more views than we do over here at the Nation. So, but I felt like it was convenient for you to endorse, to put on a cape and come say something for me. But behind the scenes, you have not been reaching out. you have not been like when you put out music. Literally one time you put out a song, and I did a TikTok video, and I had all of the girls at the party dancing to your song, and it got like 1,000 views on my TikTok, and I don't even have that many followers. Like, I support your music, I pop on your lives and support your platforms, I reference you on my platform. What more do you want me to do, sis? What more am I supposed to do? Let me know, what more am I supposed to do? And I need my moderators to let me know. What else? What am I not doing right? What am I doing? What is it that I'm not doing? I reached out to her on Instagram. One time I had some mascara on. She said she liked it. I couldn't find the mascara. When I found it, I screenshot it. I took a picture of the mascara and sent it to her. Aaliyah does not do a good job of. I sometimes I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, I don't know if Leah really respects elders. Like, I don't think that she hates them, and I think that that's some of that is the responsibilities of elders, because a lot of us are messed up. I still have a lot of growing to do. Some elders think that they're entitled. Some of us have some toxic ass ways because of what was passed down from our elders, but our elders didn't know any better because there was no lane. They were doing the best they could with what they knew. So I'm not here to beat up on my elders. I'm just saying that my elders had a lot less information, they had a lot less support, and they had a lot more slurs and a lot more negativity being hurled at them. And you can't pull out a sweet apple and a sweet strawberry. You can't pull it out of shit. So if all you've gotten was crap your whole life, how can you expect to pull out a bowl of motherfucking cotton candy? Now I think that I am a little bit more, um, I think that I have grown a little bit more because I've had the chance to observe my elders, and I've had a chance to expand and evolve and move a little differently as I step into elderhood. Because, yes, in trans years, I feel like we age like dogs. And I'm at the door of elderhood. I'm about to be 48 next month. For the most part, to a girl that's in her 20s, to a girl that's in her early 30s, to a girl that's in her teens, I am an elder. To a person, excuse me, to a child, to an offspring, to a community member, because I don't want to make everything girl, because you know I will do it. To a younger person who is 20 years younger than me, 30 years younger than me, I am an elder. And I don't always get it right. But I have been trying with you, Leah. And I don't like how you constantly trying to publicly hold me accountable when I don't really see any loyalty coming out of you. You defended me one time with T.S. Madison, but it's not about just defending me against T.S. Madison. It's about actually like supporting the collective, like supporting the work, uplifting the work, building together, showing up for each other, making time for each other, pouring into this collective. I can't just be there for you to ride for you when you just showing up to ride for you every time there's a problem, when I don't even know if the loyalty is authentic. Cause social media is social media. That's why right now I'm trying to get the resources and get the funding so for us to physically meet, for us to physically be able to share space and to build together, because that's important to me. So I'm just like I legit didn't even know what was going on. I legit had no idea of what was going on with her. I woke up today to a long email saying that I need to step forward, and I'm like, do I look dumb? Do y'all think because I have a southern accent that I'm dumb? Do y'all think I'm slow? Cause I have grace? Cause I have patience? Y'all mistake that from me being dumb or slow? Like literally, I just left Georgia and I was there for almost 3 months. And you knew I was there. And you think that if I was in any city where any of my moderators was, or any place where any of my moderators was, that I wouldn't make an effort to see them if I had the resources and the time? This is not for play. This is not I'm not doing this stuff to entertain myself. Yes, I wanted to pan out into something that creates resources and creates opportunities. Because who wants to put all of this energy and effort into something that does not yield anything? And the problem with our community is everybody want to go off and do their own thing, but don't want to build nothing as a collective. Everybody want to go off and be the sole heir and the sole owner and the sole this, and I did my own thing. I did that. Where does your loyalty lie collectively? With the United States? With the government? Like, where does your loyalty lie collectively? Because a lot of us don't even mess with our biological family. You done cut them off. So you go out there, you make a name for yourself, you get all of this money, you get all of these resources, but where does your loyalty lie collectively? Because, see, that is the advantage that gatekeepers have over us. They have collective. They go to colleges and they go to institutions and they build networks and they become. Child, we even got a trans sorority group out here. What sorority group out here? The trans men that created B Tag. And all them, the black trans men, they come together. They got that. Where does your collective loyalty lie? And that's a question that needs to be asked to this younger generation. Now, I didn't see a place for me in any of this old stuff. Because I'm not about to tap dance. I'm not about to coon. I'm not about to pretend. It's only so much I could do for so long. I couldn't find a table, so I decided to create my own. And that's the and I remember when I was created in New Orleans. And I remember they did not want me, even though Breakout would not have happened without my input. And Breakout was one of the most powerful spaces for trans black people, trans and queer LGBT people. That space would not have happened if I had never taken any part. Because Wes would have never met Milan if it had not been for me. I trusted him with community. But then when Breakout started, and we went through this, and me and Milan is in a better space now, but I'm saying this to play the whole tape. Some way she was kind of poisoned against me. I don't really know what it was, but when the space was being developed, it was being developed without older trans people in the space. The only older trans person that was in the space was Wes. And I'm not mad at Wes anymore because Wes has helped me in ways behind the scenes. I've been able to benefit from a resource that Wes guided me to that has helped this platform for years and years. So I am no longer mad at Wes. I am no longer sitting up here doing this video because I'm venting about how the white trans man co-opted community and took my people from me and built up Breakout. Like, I'm not upset about that. I've moved on. But just because I've moved on and I'm not upset about it doesn't mean I'm not going to bring it up. And then we have a tendency when we do make space for older trans people, it's a certain prototype that we gonna make room for. We gonna make room for the trans person that's got a degree. A trans person that's gonna speak the language of the good Negro. The acceptable Negro. We don't make space for older trans people who gonna come and gonna speak from the streets. That speaks to a way that is not controlled by systems and institutions. That's gonna really speak truth to power. And so when I say what I say, when I say the things that I say, when I say them how I'm saying them, I want you to understand that this has historically happened to me. And I'm saying historically intentionally. My voice has been historically edited out of spaces where people was trying to get money. Where the intention was to get money. Not necessarily, hey, if we can elevate some people in the process, hey, if we can give some people some opportunities in the process, but the goal is to get some money. And see, that's where my agenda is a little different. My goal is to elevate. My goal is to expand consciousness. My goal is to strengthen collective thought. And if we get some money, that's great. We could sure use it. But the base intention is not to get money. And I feel like when we're having a strong collective, it's okay to have people at the table who don't have the same intentions. Like in a collective, it should be one person in the collective that's like, yeah, okay, we're going to get some money, right? But it also should be someone in the collective conscious that's saying that doesn't need to be the base of it. Like there should be opposition and we find a common ground in a collective. We don't all need to come to the table agreeing, but we need to ultimately agree on what the goal is. And it needs to be in a way. I take my own personal avatar, for example. I have such a relationship with my ancestors inside my body. And I can hear them talking to me. And within me, my ancestors are not always in agreement. And you know how they say you ate something that didn't agree with your stomach and you throw it up? That's because the ancestors, the energies, the frequencies, it wasn't a season for someone. Well, somebody didn't want that. Something in your DNA was like, you know what? You've been having too much of that. You getting carried away. You had enough. I let your ancestors have their fun. Like, that's how I look at my own avatar. Bitch, when I want to have me a drink, it's certain ancestors in me, they alcoholics. They'll drink every day if they could. It's other ancestors in me, they don't want to drink at all. But they will compromise and allow those ancestors who need a cocktail to have a cocktail. It's ancestors in me that don't like eating meat. Some days they will compromise and they will allow me to eat meat. They will allow those ancestors in my DNA that need meat to have meat. But when I've eaten too much meat, I will start to throw it up. When I've eaten fruit and vegetables too much and I'm getting carried away with them, I start to taste pesticides even when I washed it. It'll start to taste funny even when I've cleaned it. When you know yourself, you have a better way of being able to collaborate with others because there's conflict going on within me. My ancestors who guide my body and who live in my DNA, they're not always in agreement. And so each day I'm journeying to find balance within myself so that I can model that for other people. Sometimes there's a side of you that might want to go and pop somebody in the face. And the other side of you is saying, let that go. Though that is the ancestors in your DNA in a conflict. When I got ready to do this live, it was a part of me that said, child, don't do that live. Wait until next week to do that live. But the ancestors that wanted to do the live obviously won out. And so when you know yourself, you understand that conflict exists within your own self. And when you can learn how to listen to that conflict and that struggle that goes on within yourself, and you can learn to honor and respect all of the different facets of your own being, all of the different facets of your own personhood, of your own divinity. When you can learn how to honor that and have balance with that and make space for that, then you can learn how to have space and honor other people. Because other people are just as complex as you. You ain't the only person that's complex. You ain't the only person that's got shit going on. You ain't the only person that's been through something. Sophie said I just ate my feelings some more. Yeah, girl, she had screenshots the first time too. Hey, S Child. Hey, Goddess. Purple Goddess. I came with these passive aggressive queens who act confused when the energy is returned. Alpha Dog tried with an Amazon warrior and got their feelings hurt, and now they're weaponizing their personality disorder against. This motherfucking warrior queen here, girl. Be patient with these girls, though. I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say that she didn't try it because when she screenshotted the information and she sent it to me, like I said in the video yesterday, she did challenge you, you know, and you had never seen her in the comment section before. And then when she did challenge you in a passive aggressive way, you were directly aggressive. You were directly aggressive. And what I don't like is being put in a situation to feel like I'm supposed to come to you and say, no, no, 100% pure love. No, don't do that. Like Alpha, I want you to continue to be a part of the group if that's authentically what you want and you're committed and you're invested. But you're not finna just come into the group uh, swinging your weight around. You know what I'm saying? I want to say swinging your dick around, but I don't want people to feel like I'm being transphobic. But yeah, you're not just finna come into the you're not finna come into the group doing that. Purple Prodigy. We're not talking about people's mental health. Same to you, Purple Goddess. Mothers, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and others, especially all the dope, amazing mother, either by birth and through spirit. So I don't know if y'all can't comment because ain't nobody saying anything. I don't know if y'all processing, if y'all done fell asleep, if y'all done left alive. I don't know what's going on because I don't talk for a good. Oh, it looked like the live done started over. But I know I done talk for a good 30, 40 minutes. And I said a lot. And normally y'all is engaging in the comment section. So I don't know if people sleeping, eating a Mother's Day plate. I don't know if y'all just need some time to process what's being said. I don't know what the tease is. Because I know that this is a challenging subject because I'm talking about Aaliyah, who is somebody that we actually care about. You know, we definitely care about her here at the nation. But ma'am, you're not reaching out to me in private. Like you talking to me publicly, you calling me out. Like every time Aaliyah have an issue with me, she comes straight to my page and leave it right in the comment section. She's very visible about things when she has something to say. So, we're here. And I really wasn't for this because I really just had to take space from Natasha um a week ago. I'm in the process of repairing relationships with empathy, but we're taking it slow. And I just had to take space from Natasha. So it's like, girl, I'm not trying to be around here beefing with all the girls. Like that's not my goal. Like to be around here beefing with all the girls. But we gotta make this make sense, and it's not making any. So I take it that nobody has any feedback. No feedback. Nobody. Nothing. Now, if nobody has any feedback, then we'll just let that be. We'll just let that be what it's gonna be. Cause I wasn't gonna do this live today, so I really didn't have a long live planned. My daughter is supposed to be coming over here. We supposed to be cooking, and she bringing me some gumbo, some seafood gumbo, and we finna, enjoy each other's company. Have us a good little celebration, a good little connection. But if there's no feedback, if nobody has anything to say, and I know that this is a difficult issue, like you don't have to necessarily talk about Aaliyah. Like you could give an example of when you went through this, or what you would do if you were in this situation. Like we don't like I'm not asking for people to drag Aaliyah because that's not what this video is about. This video is not about dragging her. This video is talking about how we don't collectively support each other, and how everybody is out trying to build their own brands and do their own things, but nobody is trying to collectively support people. And I have like the reason why me and Diamond Styles is not where we were is because I was trying to support Diamond, but Diamond was not trying to support me. I was trying to support and have sisterhood with Brianna, but Brianna was not trying to have sisterhood and support me. And the reason why is because my views challenge the system in a way that is not financially lucrative. A lot of girls talk about dismantling the system, but a lot of girls ain't serious. And this is not shade, this is just the truth. And when I realized that a lot of girls this is literally just a game for them. This is literally just a game for them. Then I went through a phase of feeling like, oh, well, I had to pivot. I had to find a different balance. But at one time, 5 or 6 years ago, I thought we was really coming to tear something down. I thought we was really coming to disrupt. I thought we were really coming to abolish. When in reality, we was just whining for a seat at the table. Pick me and I'll shut up. Oh, okay, I get it now. We gonna pump our fists and we gonna march and we gonna rally. But once we get our cut, we'll shut up. Okay, all right, gotcha. That's the game. Okay, all right. Nobody told me. I didn't go to college and get that memo. I guess you learn that when you get to master it level. Nobody told me. Nobody pulled me to the side and said, hey, sis, we're not really trying to end anything. We're not really trying to abolish. We just saying that until we get our check. Nobody told me that. Nobody gave me the Whoopi Goldberg talk that Monique got. I could have schooled you. I didn't get that conversation. I remember Diamond told me one time, you gotta act like you in the Matrix and you Neo. I still don't get what that fucking shit meant. Because they stole the Matrix from black people, huh? The story was written. The story was written in a whole different way, and then got produced a whole different way. But child, so I guess since my moderators don't have nothing to say, I don't know if y'all comments is not because I can't believe now one of y'all got nothing to say. It's just 13 people on the live and ain't nobody saying nothing. I know it ain't no trolls on here because even the trolls ain't saying that. So I guess everything that needed to be said done been said. I guess we don't need to say nothing else, huh? Anandia, 100, S Child, Sophie, we ain't saying nothing. Gucci Pro, we ain't saying nothing. So I will do a closing story because I did because I could go on. I could say more, but I don't want to dominate the conversation. Like it's not really about collective building, you know. We live in a world where people just trying to build up their own shit. And that's not really my vision. That's not my vision. You know, like I said, I want to see people get souls. I want to see people realize themselves. I want to see people be whole. I want to see a space that's inclusive and that's welcoming and a space that doesn't make um, black people, whether you are post-op, pre-op, or non-op, whether you trans or whether you identify as heterosexual, I want a space that helps them to feel valued and helps them to feel respected and protected. But I also don't want to shun every person who is not black because of what some of their ancestors did. And I do realize that it's going to take a little bit more grace. And the reason why I think that sometimes it requires a little bit more grace is because it's the same way, you know, not trying to diminish all white people because I mean, perhaps, you know, I do know that there's some white people actually challenged. The ones that I have met are few and far in between. Like, bitch, I've met the amount that I've met, I could count on one hand in my almost 50 years of existence. But I think as a whole, collectively, a lot of them are less spiritually evolved. And that's like dealing with a baby. You have to have more patience. You have to have more patience. You have to have a little bit more grace. And so sometimes what might look like a malcoon might just be grace. But you can't show grace to someone who is not willing to be authentic about their shortcomings. Like I ain't got no grace for you if you can't admit that some messed up things have been instilled into you and sometimes you are acting out as a result of those things that were passed down to you by your parents that got you all messed up. Like if you're not even willing to talk about that, like if you're not even willing to admit that that's a real thing, then I don't know how I can have grace for you. First, you have to take accountability for the fact that perhaps you were screwed up. You did have some things instilled in you that caused you to be the way that you are. So I have grace and space for Caucasian people and non-black people who are able to own that and not just move in a sense of entitlement because of how they look and how their genetics panned out to be predominantly white. Like I need you to take accountability that because you look like you look, you've had a certain set of values instilled in you. And sometimes your responses are based on those things that have been instilled in you. Now, if you can take ownership of that and be honest about that, then I can have grace. Because that's you trying. And you need to consistently try, if that makes sense. Because there are black people who have loads and loads and loads of melanin, a bunch of melanin, and in a deep sleep. Just as clueless and just as unconscious. And I used to think that everybody that was dark skinned had to be woke. And that's just not true. And some of them are woke. They just like playing this game. It's fun. They know that they're eternal. They know that they're going to live on. They know that they're going to be reborn. And they like playing this game. It's fun. So then you have that. You have that dynamic. So if we have no more comments today, I'm going to read this that I wanted to read in the beginning of my book. And I'll just leave y'all to sit with that, to sit with this message. But I wanted to read this the other day, and it's coming back to me now, and I want to read it again. And this is dedicated, and it really just speaks to the 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 way that I want this legacy and this collective to move, in honoring our foremothers and our forefathers, in honoring the divine masculine and honoring the divine feminine. Because as I said in the video that I released today, I can relate to non-black people when when deeply melanated people say, "Oh, y'all stole that from us. Oh, y'all got that from us. Y'all want to be us. Everybody want to be us." That's the same thing that some women say to trans women. You want to be me. You'll never be me. You're pretending. It's cosplay. But how can I be pretending to be something that's in my DNA? Like, you literally can look at some white people and see patches of brown on their arm, patches of brown up under their chin. Like, what you think freckles is? Just because it's not overt doesn't mean it's not there. Just because I don't have a vagina doesn't mean that my foremothers don't live in me. Just because a Caucasian person is not slathered in melanin doesn't mean that there's not melanin in there. So, anyway, let me read this. Many names have been used to describe our being. Many of us resonate with alleged fictional characters of lore, and others we know for certain exist. We are chameleons, mermaids, dragons, butterflies, wildcats, seahorses, dolphins, phoenixes, and unicorns. We are called countless names throughout countless cultures. Some of us are perceived as harmful, some are perceived as harmful and discouraging, while others are uplifting and empowering. But one of the names that have stood out most in our spirits is angel. Webster defines angel as a being who is superior to humans in power and intellect, but lower in the celestial hierarchy. This language speaks loudly through the writer because of the duality embedded in the word. It allows the reader to observe and understand quite differently how a term or title can be used to exalt yet humble simultaneously. There are many human Aborigine offspring born into the deep southern regions of what was conquered, claimed, and renamed America, whose spirituality was profoundly impacted by the dominant culture. Our example of this truth is the Southern Baptist Church, reach within and throughout intersecting communities. This serving as reality has historically warped some of our understanding about the word angel. We have placed them on mental pedestals, revering them as grandiose and otherworldly. Many believe them to have been sacred and holy messengers come from other realms, acting as heavenly ambassadors to the omnipotent creator of all. And then there were angels who were cast out and believed to have been forsaken, those who were said to have betrayed their maker to follow the alleged first one to be cast down to earth, Satan. Lucifer is another name of Satan, who is known as the son of the morning, the angel of music, in the heavens. After his fall, he became known as the serpent, which I kind of feel like the serpent and Sophia. I'm trying to see if Sophia and the serpent is the same person. Like was Sophia and Satan the same person? But they said Lucifer was the prettiest in heaven. That's a whole nother topic. The deceiver, the father of lies. Now, what makes this particularly interesting is that many of us were taught that angels did not have souls, therefore, they inherently lack the free will to make a choice. Yet they did. They left their dwellings on unseen plains. They descended from their stations in heavenly knowingness to walk amongst humans who were actively struggling to figure out their own purpose. Some angels were sent as divine messengers, others had fallen from grace and were lost. What a thought provoking notion! Angels, messengers, or aliens for those who think more scientifically, walking amongst us for different reasons and intentions on a daily basis. The truth is, no matter who sent these beings or how they ended up among the human species, we have not been slighted by their potential to inspire and expand mortal consciousness. However, awareness is not always a prized commodity. For one's who's for a prized commodity, one seeks to invest in others, especially if the intent is to have total control over others' narratives, energy, frequency, and life force. Questions arise to support this theory when we examine the experiences of those perceived to be the most vulnerable in our circle. In this collection of stories, the writer will transport the reader into a realm where modern day slavery thrives as an essential component within the civilized world. Paper, plastic, electrical, and political currency are all charged by human activity. Honestly, it is our thoughts that we must all be a servant of something. Still, whatever we choose to serve or slave for should not be forced upon us through deception and half truths. It should be our full, well informed choice to make. This testimony is an opportunity to further evaluate this idea. We, the writer, share stories based on our perception of truth. We will share our light, life, and testimony as one of many angels who are here blending amongst mankind. At the end of these stories, you, as the reader, may decide for yourself, was this angel sent by the divine, or did they simply fall from grace? Or perhaps the angel was sent and then got lost along the way. Now, and then it says, for certain, certainly there won't be a unanimous response and agreement. And I want to stop right there. I know that everybody is not going to agree with me. I know that everybody is not going to agree with my intentions. Everybody's not going to agree with why I'm here. Everybody's not going to agree with what I'm talking about. Everybody's not going to agree with what I'm teaching. But let's be clear. I don't have a problem with hearing other people. But what I have experienced on this journey is that people want you to hear them, but they really don't want to hear what you have to say. I make space for people. I listen to people. I hear people. But people struggle with hearing me. People struggle with hearing my truth. People struggle with hearing my noise. And that's where the problem. I was talking to one of my female cousins on the phone the other day, and I was telling her, like, I'm in a different space with the Christian religion. I can listen to Christians talk. Just like when I said I can work with T.S. Madison. I don't hate her. But I'm not going to not hold her accountable. I just did a video last week where I was calling for accountability from this woman. But we are both adults. If I can get a bag out of collaborating with her that will forward and have greater impact on the work that I'm doing, I don't see her as Lucifer. I don't even see Lucifer as Lucifer. I don't see her as this dark, demonic entity that has come to destroy the world. I see her as someone who is holding on to some pain or trauma that kind of drives her. That's kind of a driving force that causes her to say a lot of things that I struggle with and that I'm triggered by. And I speak on it when it happens. But I don't think that she's some type of demonic spawn of debauchery. I just don't agree with a lot of the things that she does. But that doesn't mean that I can't sit down and have an intellectual conversation with this lady. I think she would have a problem with it. Because she's the one who look like she like to hold grudges and don't know how to let shit go. I think a lot of people who accuse me of certain things, I think you're projecting. I think you don't know how to let shit go. I think you don't know how to say how you feel and say how you feel about somebody and move the fuck on. I think you're carrying something like a weight and you don't know how to let that shit go. But you want to blame me and say I'm problematic or something wrong with me. But I have problems with people all the time. I disagree with people all the time. That's never stopped me from being respectful when I was in their spaces. When I saw Diamond at Creating Change, I was very offended with how she dealt with me because I felt like no matter what we were going through, it did not merit what she did. I waited until I got in my house on my platform to challenge that. I didn't run up to her in the conference and disrupt her time at the conference. When I was at B-Tag, the very infraction that made it so that I can't go back to B-Tag was because I got on my live, got on my platform, and I said my view of what happened with a person who I had a relationship with prior to B-Tag. A person who I had a personal relationship with. I had been to their home on another continent, because I went to Canada to perform and I stayed at their house. I had my own personal relationship with that person. When I got on my platform, which I use to discuss my feelings and what I'm going through, I went into a space at a conference in which I paid the registration to be at. I had not offended any of the people who were running the conference, but yet and still, when I got ready to step into the non-binary space, they told me because of some shit I said on my live, on my platform, I was not welcome in that space. You tell me how the fuck that shit makes sense. That's a contradiction of the First Amendment. That shit was unconstitutional. They put me out of the space because that person didn't feel safe. Then they made me look like the villain for standing up for what I believed in. But did I run up to that person and tell that person something? Did I come into that space? Did I come up in that room? Did I insult that person in that room? No, I came in there with pure intentions. I didn't even know that person was going to be in that space. I was coming in there to share. I was happy, had nothing to do with it. And I felt like if that person was uncomfortable in that space, that person should have stepped out. Point blank period. That person should have went somewhere. A couple of people from the group could have left to go somewhere else with that person so that person could share privately. But putting me out of the group because that person was offended, and then what didn't make it no better was most of the people in the room was biologically female and light skinned. So oftentimes I have been mistreated in spaces because my melanin, my queerness, then that same trans person told me that they had a real vagina and mine was fake. That same person talked up under my clothes. That same person was violent to me at the same conference when I was not violent to them. That person was protected because of colorism and because of their proximity to masculinity, while at the same time, their proximity to womanhood via a vagina. It's funny how you can have a vagina and still be protected by the patriarchy, but also be protected under the guise of your proximity to womanhood. Let's have that conversation one day. Because patriarchy don't do shit for me. Every now and then, a dude might step in and fight for me because he see me as his mama or his sister. But it's been more times that he had wanted to put his hand upside my head. It's been more times that didn't matter. So, yeah, we're all down here trying to find our own way, and I'm doing the best that I can with the tools that I have and the support that I have to be inclusive and to make a space for people to be able to talk and for people to be able to express themselves and for us to grow as a collective. Okay? Doing the very best that I can. Doing the very best that I can with little support. Cause all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Everybody who put on a dashiki and wear an afro wig, y'all talking about white people cosplaying, bitch, y'all cosplaying. But I'm gonna get off that nerve. Down but now that I say cool, keep spinning and turning and Gani Yanko Kalukalo, which means I'm a child of God goddess, and if I am, you know you are. Bound in round, both circle and square, we too speak life, so operations beware. Sending healing to those in despair, El Babosawa, which means we come in peace, no harm to any. Laylem Layler. We we'll light a candle in honor of the past, the present, and the future, the ancestors who have come, the ancestors who will come, and the ancestors who will are here. As I blow out this candle on the spiritual plane, it grows with intensity and purpose, preparing us for times that are now. A man, a woman, leilem, leiler. You don't have to be filthy rich to stand on business. Y'all have a beautiful day. Y'all take care and girl, like that punk say on Instagram, bitch. You have a good day, cause if you don't, I'm ill. All right.